What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. Today we are back with my 2010 BMW 550 GT. This thing was gently tapped in the rear end and it caused both of the airbags to blow in the headrest of the passenger and the driver's seats. So I think it's safe to assume if you're watching this video, you want to know how to replace those airbags in the headrest of your seat, because let's face it, driving around like this, well, it doesn't look good and it sure isn't fun. And if you notice, when you go to push things in, it just doesn't do anything. So how do you fix this? And better yet, how do you get that airbag light off of your dash? Well, to figure this out, we first need to start with the parts, which I have back here in a box. So let's break out these parts so I can show you what you're going to need, and if I can find them on Amazon, I'll include a link below this video. So here's what I've got for you. This is factory BMW. The part number is 52109169585. All right, and like I said, I'll put a link below this video if I can find this for you on Amazon, and it's as simple as this tiny little clip and this tiny little module. This will actually, it's got like gunpowder in it, and boom, it explodes this piece on the tip, which pushes down on a tab and forces the springs to shoot this piece out and then trigger your airbag system. Now, here's the best part of this. You can do this with no tools. This is super easy, but I know you're wondering, how do you get the airbag light off of the dash? Obviously, you've got to have some special tools. You're going to have to send your crash module out in order to get that fixed, right? Wrong. You don't. All you need is a scan tool that's capable of clearing codes on most cars. Has to be capable of clearing the airbag codes. Once we clear the airbag codes and have these replaced, problem solved. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get your seat up. And by the way, this works for most BMWs that have this type of deployable airbag in the headrest system. To take this apart, grab the bottom. You hear that click? There's little clips in here. Just pop it, then grab the top. It's easier to do with two hands, but we should be able to get in here, and you can see what I'm talking about. Maybe there's these clips right down in here. When you grab this and you pull it, bingo, it pulls those clips, and then you gotta kind of feel around the top and just kind of, really. Let me get my other hand in here. It's easier to do two-handed. Okay, pop it from the bottom, push up, and then there we go. Just like, whoa, man. I ain't gonna lie, that was kind of a pain. Now that you've got this out of the way, it just kind of folds down like this. Just let it drop down. You can see the part that we need to replace is right here. Squeeze this tab and pull it out. And as you can see, this part is extended, so it's blown. Then you simply pop it out of its little happy little clip here. Again, easier to do two-handed, guys. I promise you, you can do this yourself. It's super easy. I haven't even disconnected the battery. Now, you're gonna have to push this little clip in, and I think as soon as you push that in, again, easier to do two-handed. Now, have no fear if these do not want to come out. It really is as simple as squeezing the tab on this. You really got to squeeze it. See how it releases? Sometimes it gets stuck, and I had that problem with this one. It was really stuck. I'm telling you, grab it, pry it with both hands, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Don't put any stress on the connector, but grab the connector on the wires. I mean, don't put stress on the wires. Make sure they're slack, push it in, and use both hands to wiggle side to side, back and forth, and really pull on it, and it will come out. The passenger side came out no problem, super easy. And this kit, by the way, it cost me about $300 for the kit to do both of these. So you're looking at about $150 a piece. This kit comes with a new clip and a new, I don't even know what you call this little module, but explosive module right here. And you're probably wondering, if you didn't pay attention, well, how does this go back in to this? It's easy to get mixed up if you weren't paying attention. So if you weren't paying attention, you probably forgot how this piece goes into this piece, and you're probably sitting there trying different things and you just can't figure out. I know that you probably did that because I literally just did the same thing. I took both of them out and I committed it to memory, and then by the time it came to putting them together, I forgot got how they go. So I had to look it up, and I'm going to save you some time on Google. I'm going to show you exactly how these two pieces fit back together. Are you ready? All right, you see this part? You see you've got this little tab down here at the bottom? It goes in, just click like that. That's right, this is how it goes, and it will fit into your headrest like this. And you'll want to plug this in. See how it's nice and firm in there. It clicks. All right, go ahead and plug this into the wiring harness first. That way you can route the wiring harness in here. You can plug it in, and then I'll show you how to put it in the headrest. So this is what I'm talking about. Before you go trying to put everything back together, go ahead and route the wire through this piece right here so that it's ready to go. In fact, I just did it upside down, so ignore that and do it this way. Route it through where it's supposed to go like this. Come on, get up there. This way you can plug it in, and then you should easily be able to fit that sensor in there. And then we're going to replace it here and clip it right back into the headrest. And when you're done, it should look just like this. It's very important that you get everything lined up properly. I know what you're thinking. This doesn't look like it fits. It looks like it should go down in there. It does not. It fits perfectly up here. There are locking tabs to hold this in place up top. There should be a decent gap here at the bottom. Make sure that the barcode is facing the front, and the connector where you push it in to release it is also facing the front. Now the fun part is over. The hard part begins. How do we get this headrest to lock back in place? This could be a little tricky. I'm going to try to do it with one hand. Actually, I'm not going to try to do it one-handed. So some BMWs have a push button on the side that releases these wings right here, and some don't. Mine, unfortunately, doesn't. There is a wing on each side, just like this. So you're going to have to grab both of those, and then it's going to get real fun. There is a spring located down here, and there's... Let me just pick you up and try to show you what we're talking about here, because you're going to have to get this lever to actually hold everything in place. And to do that, you got to open these springs, one on this side and one on this side. Like I said, some BMWs have a nice push button that will release that. Mine does not. So you're going to have two hands for this. Open both of those, pull this down, and we're going to try to get... You're also going to want your headrest all the way up like mine is. Then we're going to try to get it to latch back in place. This part can be tricky. There's a spring right there, and it's got a latch. And if you look, if you push up, you see if I can get my hands in here. If you push up, see that? That locks in place, but we're not ready to lock it in place yet. You have to manage to get that latch up from back here, right here. And you'll see this seats right there. See how that seats where it's nice, where it's supposed to be? Everything goes back there like it's supposed to. The problem is we're not ready. We have to get this down first. So you got to pull this down, watch. Okay, now you see it's way out there, and if you push it up, it goes back, all right? So now you get the idea of how it works. We've got to get it down. We've got to get the headrest all the way down until these tabs over here, which you're not going to be able to see, but there's like springs right there. You see them? There's one right there, and there's another one right here. Those have to clip in to that. So again, this is not something you're going to do one-handed, and you're going to have to probably do this over and over like I have. It's not fun. Pull the sides out, pull it in, and then you got this back that gets in the way. This piece right here is seriously a major annoyance. You got to really get it. I don't even know. Dang it. I'm so close. I swear, every time I think that I'm about to get it, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Maybe if I just... Bingo! No! No! Did it come out? Or did I get it? I think I got it. I think I got it. I could very well be wrong though. Maybe I don't got it. No, I don't got it. Close, but no cigar. Guys, when I tell you that this was the hardest part of the whole job, believe me, I'm gonna give you some advice, all right? Bear hug it like your life depends on it, all right? Once you're gonna need both hands to pull this whole thing back towards you, but once you get it back, take one arm and bear hug. I mean, bear hug this son of a gun, man. All the way back. It's gonna try to tilt down. Don't let it. It's gotta tilt up. Get it up and bear hug that sucker all the way back. And then you simply reach in here and you push. And what's gonna happen is you'll feel it kind of click, but it's not gonna go all the way in. You gotta bear hug it even tighter, adjust it, maneuver things side to side, and keep pushing up on this. If you've got a second person that can help you, it's gonna make the job that much better. If you could get somebody in the front that can push this to the back and you can adjust this piece, pop it up, and then you guys can work together to get it in, that's gonna be much easier. But as you can see, I did it, one person, and then this whole thing should just, again, one-handed. This isn't really a one-handed kind of job, guys. I'll get it locked in there and then we'll come back in just a minute. Not to worry, I still have the passenger side to contend with. Now when you're done popping these things back together, and again, I don't know what it is about the driver's side, but the driver's side just all around gave me a real headache putting it back together. The passenger side popped right together like it was nothing, no problem at all. Everything on the passenger side was smooth as butter. The driver's side though, that one was a bear. So now grab your trusty OBD scanner. As long as it's capable of clearing airbag codes, you're going to want to get under here and find your OBD port. It's got a little lid over it, so it's going to be right there. Hard to see, but there it is. Plug it in, and well, make sure you're plugging it in the right way. It's hard to see down here, and holding a camera sure doesn't help. But anyway, there it is. You can see where the trunk release button is, the hood release button. It's right there with a nice little door. This thing will come to life. We'll boot up the car, turn on the accessory, and here in just a second, this will turn on. This will come to life, and we will be able to hopefully clear these airbag codes. As you can see, we're going to be greeted with airbag codes up here as well as soon as this thing boots up. You'll see a driver and a passenger restraint system, except, and then there we go. Passenger restraint, that's the passenger airbag, driver restraint, airbag, and then it'll bring us to our radio. So now that this is booted up, we can pop open our scan tool here. We're just going to do a standalone diagnostic. We'll let it run through everything. We'll clear all the codes. In fact, I'll show you real quick. It should bring everything up pretty quickly here. This car works pretty fast. Some cars are slow, but this one is not. And just like that, it's done. I know it's hard to see, but we've got active headrest restraint, passenger and driver. It says it's an intermittent fault. Then we got outside door handle, and then we've got a internal sensor fault on an AUC. Who knows? But the big thing is these airbags. So we're just going to do a quick erase on this. It should clear the codes. With any luck, the airbag light should go out. I think it already did. Clearing the codes on the active airbag advanced crash safety module. Passed, no faults. There you go, guys. That's what you want to see. And now we have no faults at all. None. None of the modules have any faults anymore. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. You don't have to do this, but I just like to do it this way. I'm going to unplug the OBD connector. I'm going to close up the port. We're going to fire it up, and we should have no more warnings about airbag modules in this car. Bingo, look at that. Nothing. Oh, I'm sorry. It's upset that the door is open and the trunk is open. Can I close the trunk from here? I think I got to get out to close the trunk. But anyway, the only thing it's complaining about is the trunk being open. Not a bad fix for $300. And if you're wondering why my airbags were blown to begin with, well, I bought this car for $4,000 salvaged. The insurance company salvaged this car for this damage right here. There's a dent in the bumper. The paint has cracked off. There's some damage to the bumper here, and some cracking here. Honestly, in my opinion, not that big of a deal. This is a great car. In fact, I have fallen in love with this car. So it doesn't take much, just a light tap on the back, and it's totaled. Your airbags are deployed and your headrest. Guys, You kidding me? $300 for genuine, genuine, not GM, genuine BMW parts, and maybe 30 or 40 minutes of fighting with the car. You know, 5 minutes clearing the codes, and you now have your car back just as good as new. Look at this. No warning lights. No warning lights, and that's the beautiful thing about this car. I got it for $4,000. This thing is over 400 horsepower. It's got sport mode. Sport Plus mode. Would you take a look at that? Sport Plus mode. This car is kind of a beast. All-wheel drive with over 400 horsepower, and now it has no codes at all for $4,000. A perfect example of how easily and cheaply you can do this kind of work yourself. It's no big deal, guys. There we go. Turn it back to normal mode. Otherwise, I'll get crazy driving this thing. There you have it, guys. A super simple and relatively cheap fix for your BMW. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope it was useful to you to fix your own airbags. Like I said, I'm going to put a link below this video. Sometimes you can find them on Amazon, and sometimes they're out of stock. But if I can find them, I'll put a link below so you guys can just click it and get them for yourself, man. It's super easy to do. Just be patient. Don't get carried away. Don't get too excited. Make sure you clear the codes when you're done, and you should be rolling in style once again in your BMW. Hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. Drop your comments down below. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. And until next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.